Tasty, tasty. Tasty, tasty. Hey guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a really, really good Sunday. First and foremost, I want to apologize because the setup I have today is a little bit different to usual. So if you guys saw the last time I streamed, and you've watched the Instagram story since then, you will see that I've got two new monitors in the workshop. And that means that camera positions have changed. So I'm gonna have struggle to I have to turn, like, this is me facing straight forwards now. I used to turn to here to get to the camera, now I have to turn to here. So it's a little bit different, and the lighting is a little bit different as well. So the lights aren't in the same position, so I look a little bit more orangey than I do in real life. It's a little bit different as a setup, and the microphone's in a different place, so it's going to take me a little bit of getting used to. I apologize in advance for that, and hopefully it'll be okay. But the good news is the new monitors are very good from a from a productivity perspective, if I can get the right words out. So yeah, so that's good. Let's start off with the chat, see who's here, see who got first. Aniki got first. He said, good evening, Jay. Good to know you had a good break at the beach yesterday. Yeah, so actually this is kind of a funny story because Mel told me the other day that she had never taken her dog to the beach. And I mentioned that to Ellie and my wife, and she was like, oh, we should go to the beach because Gigi loves the beach. So we went to the beach. And I think I'm going to go to the beach in the next week or so with Mel and take her dog as well. So it's going to be good fun. Sorry that we didn't get a chance to talk much at the meetup last weekend, but with that many people, it's not surprising. Hopefully some smaller regional meetups will have less people, so more opportunity to talk. Absolutely, Anarchy. I know we spent like 2 minutes talking. I tried to talk to James, AKB, as well. We got like 2 minutes of time to talk to each other before we were dragged off in different directions. It was the same when I was speaking to yourself, and the same when I was speaking to so many other people. The bigger meetups, it's really difficult to spend time with the few folks that you want to. Next time I want to plan it out a little bit better when we do the big London meetups, and like have like some small mini meets and stuff like that around the whole venue and all that kind of stuff as well. Plus we want to do another PT open day, so prototypist open day. We did one at the beginning of this year.
Tasty.
And it would be really nice to do another prototypist open day in November, I think. Like, if we can make it work, we're going to try and do one in November. Like, timescales are quite tight to organize it, but we'd love to do a prototypist open day in November, have people come in, show you guys the products, give you some massive discounts if you want to buy something on the day, show you all the new products and cool things that we're working on, have some kind of cool designs up and stuff like that, show you guys like processes that we follow and all that kind of stuff as well. So we'll see if we can do that. But it was great to see you again, Anarchy, even if we didn't get a chance to speak too much. Ball Boy, thank you so much for the 2 months of sub, man. I really appreciate that. Josh is here as well. Yes, another Sunday stream. It is, man. It is. Arcana says hi. Void Media subscribed for 7 months. Said evening, Jay and Sunday squad in chat. I hope we're all having lovely weekends. Well, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Yeah, my weekend's been really nice. So, as I say, yesterday I went to the beach. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Today it's kind of just been a bit of a soft start to the day, a bit of a lay-in, cooked breakfast, and then a little bit of work with some TV in between. So it's been okay. Snicket's here as well. Evening, Jay. Hope you're doing all right. It was great to get to meet you last weekend. And yourself, man. I saw your pictures. Some of your pictures from the meetup looked great. Thank you very much for coming and having a chat with Mel and myself. It was really good fun to meet you. Storesness says, good evening, Jay. Hey, man. Good to see you. Alarix here as well. He says, hello, Jay. 3 a.m. jet lagged here, but glad to see you streaming. Hey, man. If you're jet lagged, go to sleep, man. Go to sleep. It's way more important than watching me stream. Clever Looks. Hey, man. Thank you for the 5 months of subs, man. I really appreciate that. Simba Waves as well. Demotex is here. Thrax to ICIC as well. The camera and lighting setup looks good. It's a little bit yellowish tinged, but that could be my monitors because I haven't color calibrated the monitors yet either.
Tasty.
So I don't know. Like, I need to color calibrate the monitors, and then I can color calibrate the cameras. That's the reason why I haven't done it, because I need to sort the monitors out first. So we'll see. The camera should be a lot clearer now because the lighting's in a better position, but I think the color's still slightly off. We'll see. We'll see. Printer cam looking good. Nice to see two of them there running. Yeah, it's good to have them back up. I did take, like, between the last stream and this stream, I did take a day to myself to just do things for me. And although I ended up doing some work in that period, one of the things I wanted to do was fix the printer and build the 2 new Prusa enclosures. So these are now in proper Prusa enclosures. They're actually literally just off camera to this side of me now. If you've watched Instagram stories at all recently, you might have seen me move the whole office around. They're not out in the workshop anymore because they slow down in the winter. They need warming up and everything else, and it just gets a bit of a nightmare in winter trying to run them. So I brought them into the office, and they're literally at the side of me. So if you can hear them in the background running, I apologize for that. I am working on some sound deadening stuff to make them much quieter if you can hear them in the background. Daily Dose of Dave says, hey, thank you so much for the Prime sub as well, man. 4 months, I appreciate that. Exari is here as well, says sup. Do you have a weekend in mind for mid-November? For November, or one you can rule out as I need to book a weekend I'm working? Not yet, but I wanted to try and sit down with Mel this week and work out when we think we'd be able to do it. The challenge is we need to work through what shipments we've got coming, when they're expected to arrive, and when we think we can get through them. So I'd like to do it as early in November as possible. Just being frank, I'd like to do it as early in November as possible. But that is yet to be confirmed. As soon as I've got a date, we'll make a big announcement. Partial Patrick says, evening, Jay. Hey, man, good to see you. Is Prototypist morning properly? We are taking the day off tomorrow, if that's what you're referring to, Voidmain. Prototypist will be closed on Monday. The reason for that mainly is it's a bank holiday here in the UK because of the Queen's funeral. It will give our staff time to mourn if they wish to do so. If they don't wish to do so, it means it's just another day off. But the bigger issue we had is even if we did come into work tomorrow, we wouldn't be able to ship anything anyway. So because DHL and Royal Mail aren't working, so it would kind of be like a waste of a day that we just stack stuff up for the sake of doing nothing, and then it'd struggle to do anything on Tuesday because we just have a massive boxes everywhere. So that's the current thinking. We're going to be closed tomorrow. I'll still be here in the workshop tomorrow because I've got some bills to pay and things like that, so I need to take care of all that kind of stuff and just some general running the business things as well. So I'll be here, but Mel will be off, and we'll start packing again on Tuesday. Harry Bueg, thank you so much for the 2 months of subs, man. I really appreciate that. Cleverlook says, won't be on following today, just came on to sub and say hi. Thanks, man. Good to see you at the meetup too, by the way. Oh yeah, if I said hi to you at the meetup and I don't know your username to put to a face that I saw, hello, and thank you very much for coming and saying hello to me as well. I really appreciate it. I thought I could just hear them. Yeah, I think you might be able to hear them when it does certain things. Like the microphone's quite good at getting rid of some of those noises, but I do apologize if there's some noises there. How tactile are the ice matcher switches that you sell? They're kind of like a quite a light tactile, I think. I haven't used them personally in a build, so I don't want to say exactly how they are, but they're quite a nice switch to use. I don't like to stock switches that I would never use in a personal build. Most of the switches that we have in stock I would, personally recommend and say they're good enough for me to put in a personal build of my own. That's probably about the best I can do. Zakira did the coffee check, and I'm prepared for this week. Get a nice little close up of my beard. I'm not always prepared for the coffee check, but I have this week. This is what we're drinking right now. If the camera focuses, hide my face, it might do. There you go. This is a steampunk coffee with a Tanzanian bean with notes of elderflower, lychee, and cola. It's pretty nice, actually. It's pretty nice. We opened this a couple of days ago. It's from North Berwick in Scotland. If it focuses, there you go. There you go. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. But I was prepared for it this week. Normally I'm not, but this week I thought I'd prepare myself for that question. I'm used to the sound of having having one. Oh yeah, the 3D printers. We'll use it during the workshop so you can't hear them, but yeah. Daily Dose of Dave says, I've mentioned this in the Discord before, but I honestly can't tell how much I appreciate everything you and Mel do for us. Oh, thanks, man. Both Mel and I occasionally love what we do, and sometimes we hate it, but that's the same in any job. But we just want everyone to be happy. Like, that's our main aim. If we're packing something, I know we have the joke meme of Mel giving the finger saying packed with love or whatever it is, but we really do care. Like, we want people to have nice things and for people to get nice things and be happy with those things. That's mainly what we do. Sometimes we are a little bit slow at shipping stuff out, I agree. We're trying to rectify that, and there's some more news coming on that this week. So if you're interested in that, watch out for the announcements, because there's definitely some interesting things about to happen. The green jacket you got was so nice. Nice, man. Nice. Sid with Bliss. Hey, man. Good to see you. Alira's here as well. He says, hi, Jay. Hey, man. Good to see you. North Berwick is pretty close to me. Yeah, Simba. Whereabouts are you from? Are you in? Are you up in Scotland? Are you near? Where's Berwick? So Berwick upon Tweed is right on the border, right? It's not quite England. It's not quite Scotland. I assume North Berwick is somewhere near there. Let me know if I'm wrong. I would expect more gears and doohickeys on a steampunk logo. You mean for the coffee? Steampunk coffee roasters? Yeah, there is like a little leaflet.
Tasty.
That should be. Thank you so much for the subs. 2 month subs and it's been lurking for longer. Well, thanks very much for being here, man. I think I've seen your name on the on marbles when we've paid it. Oh, it does have a cool sticker. Look at this sticker. The stickers come with it. How cool is this? Come on, sticker, focus. Focus camera. There you go. How cool is that? That's a really cool sticker. I'm gonna keep that. Is that a little bit more steampunk for you? It's more wooden tables and things, but that's a little bit more steampunk, I think, right? I'm definitely keeping that though. I'm gonna put that sticker to one side so I can put it on something later. There we go. Okay. North Berwick is a good bit more north, just east of Edinburgh. Okay, so let me just get this right. So I've driven to Edinburgh a couple of times. So if I'm coming in from the east, you're coming right around the coastal road, and then you have on the right hand side as you come towards Edinburgh, you would have the big power station, the nuclear power station that goes into the sea, and then it's just after there. Then right, North Berwick would be just after that before you get to Edinburgh. Is that right? Let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, because my geography's terrible. I guess it needs more steam. I'm the guy from Jersey, so pretty much my only viable provider. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, we've shipped a fair few things to Jersey. We have quite a few people in Jersey. I actually visited Jersey a few years ago for my old job. One of the interesting things is, so I used to work for Lloyd's Banking Group. I shouldn't really say that, but I did. And one of the cool things that we had was we had 2 branches. I can't remember if they were Halifax branded or Lloyd's branded or whatever. Because we had all of the different brands, but we had 2 branches in Jersey, one which was near where everyone worked and one which was near where everyone lived. And at lunchtime, the staff would walk from the branch where everyone worked near to the one where everyone lived near, or something like that. They'd literally walk across Jersey at lunchtime because that's just what they did, and they'd move from one branch to the other. It was crazy. That's cottagecore, Jay. I don't know what cottagecore is. I don't know what cottagecore is. I'm sorry. Have I missed any updates? No, not yet. We're just talking about the meetup, Perlin, more than anything. Talking about the meetup that happened last weekend in London, and then just some catch-ups around the setup. So you can see the 3D printers just here, but they're actually just there, which is new, and as well as like the new cameras and monitor setup as well. So one of the things I'm struggling with at the minute is the overhead cam has to be a little bit zoomed in, so you don't see all of the monitor, because the monitor is literally just, I'm touching the monitor here, so like it's literally just off that screen. So I need a new desk that's instead of 60 centimeters deep, I want a 90 centimeter deep one, so the monitor's can sit a little bit further away. But that's a little change coming in a couple of weeks time. Will you do a build stream for the Thera prototype? Yes, Kiwi. So we're going to do a build stream for the Thera prototype just before the group buy starts. So I don't have time to do it this week because we're going to do the XOX70, which is in group buy right now, and you can go and pick one of these up. And we did have this prototype built at the meetup. We're going to take it apart and rebuild it, and you guys are going to pick how we rebuild it. Once we've done that, we also have the EM8, which arrived this week to look at as well. So this is a personal board for me, not a company board or anything like that. And I'm quite excited. So this is a tented kind of like split layout, and I'm pretty excited for it. How will I be spending my bank holiday? I'll be here at the workshop, Arcana. So I'm going to take the dog for a walk in the morning, and then I'm going to come straight here for like 8 a.m. I'm going to finish for 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'm just going to do 5 hours, 6 hours, something like that. And then the wife and I are going to watch the new Thor movie.
Incredible.
Okay. Alaric says, Jay, would you be open to doing a Vega versus Ginkgo comparison? Initially got the Ginkgo because Andy knew you and compared his Ginkgo to his Vega. So I have some Ginkgos here. I don't own one personally. I didn't purchase one personally, so I don't own one. And I don't own a Vega either anymore. I sold my Vega quite a while back, so I don't have the boards to do that comparison. If you want to send me a Vega, then we could do it with one of the boards that PT owns, I guess, but it'd have to be before we sell out on extras. Will the billing get 65 extras soon? So the group buy only ran for that a couple of weeks ago. We don't have the boards yet. It's going to be quite a little while before we get the boards in. I think the invoices have just about all been paid now, so I need to check all of those tomorrow. It's one of the things on my to-do list tomorrow. I think it's going to be a little while before we get the boards. Bear in mind that it'll take 4 to 12 weeks for them to actually ship to us once they finish production. So once they put them on the boat, it's literally between 4 and 12 weeks for them to then get to me, depending on which boat they get put on. And I don't generally have control over which boat they get put on, and the number of stops that the boat has directly determines how long it takes to get to us, plus weather, which is uncontrollable, plus port strikes, which is uncontrollable, and a number of other things. So I don't have an accurate date yet, but our updates pages, once we do have an update for it, will be created and all the information will be on there. So the extras won't be for sale until after we've shipped them. Did you hear split? Split? Yeah. Tented split? Yeah. Something like that. Josh says, I have a Vega, send me a Ginkgo. Maybe. Arcana says, I've been designing my first keyboard case that I'm actually planning to make. Nice, congratulations. Alira said, I got really sad. Mechanist Norwegian site don't send keyboards to Sweden. And they had some really nice sales. That suffers, man. I'm sorry. Leandrin, who runs Mechanist, is such a nice guy as well. I've ordered the Bordeaux XOX70 listed on your site. Plan to have a wine build with GMK Bordeaux keycaps. Have you seen the red in person? So many renders are different from each other. I haven't seen the red in person, no. I think it's going to be similar to the wine red that many of the keyboards are made in. I think it's going to be similar to the red that the JO1 was done in. But that's only based on my knowledge of the manufacturer and not anything else. I only have a green version here, so that's all I can show you today. Also excited for the Loki 65. Spent a lot recently. Yeah, so the Loki 65 is the first group buy that I've joined in a little while, and I have bought a personal one of it because I think it just looks really cool with the different badges in the smoked polycarbonate. So I bought the smoked polycarbonate one. I think Mel's already got her eyes on it because she was talking to myself and Josh about this in a chat the other day for PT staff, and she was like, why aren't I getting a Loki 65? So I have a feeling she's going to steal it. We'll see. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Okay, so before we get any further, let's come up with chat. I just want to talk to you about some PT updates and some PT changes. So let's start with the updates. Okay, so the updates are, we have Tomos in stock. If you want to buy a TGR board for a retail price rather than paying an outlandish overpriced cost, we've got the TGR Tomo in stock right now, so you can pick those up in all the different colors, hot swap PCBs, additional plates, additional PCBs, whatever you want, solder, hot swap, you name it, it's in stock right now. So go take a look at those. I built my pink Tomo on stream a couple of weeks ago. It's really nice. People loved it at the meetup as well. They're every bit of TGR. I know some people have said that they're not, and all of this and whatever. They're every bit of TGR, and they're a really great board for a good price. So if you're interested in Tomo, go pick one up. As well as that, we have some more stuff going in stock this week. We have a ton of Rama caps and Hebe caps and all sorts of other artisan keycaps going in stock this week. I think we've got quite a big list. I think there's at least 15 different caps going in stock this week, so watch out for those. I'll put an announcement into the Discord server when they do go live as well. What else have we got going live this week? I think we've got a couple of group buys which I'll ping when they're ready. In terms of in stock, we put DCS 9009 in stock on Friday as well. There's very, very few kits of that left. If you do want it, be quick. Same with GMK Maestro as well. So Maestro, the accent kit, sold out. We have got a very small number of novelties, and I think we're in low single digits of base kit when I looked before we started the stream. So if you do want GMK Maestro, don't hang about, just get it and order it and get it done, and we'll ship it in the next couple of days. Yeah, so do that. In terms of the stuff that we have here ready to pack and ship, the Icky Aurora Round 2 is what we're going to start packing and shipping this week. We started QC last week. We're going to start packing and shipping them this week. That's going to start on Tuesday morning. As well as that, we should get all of the other container stuff done this week, I think, or early next week. It's like, I think it's about 5 working days worth of stuff that I've counted out. So if we're quick, we'll get it done this week. If we're a little bit slower, it'll get it done early next week. EPBT Origami will be shipped out this week as well. And extras will go in stock pretty soon. The Ginkgo 65 extras will go in stock at the end of this week as well. So on Friday coming, that's when the Ginkgo 65 extras are going to go in stock too. So if you're waiting for those, that's the date to get them. The Ginkgo is a pretty cool kit, to be honest. It comes with everything you need all in one, and it's pretty cool for a 65%. Okay, so I think that's all of the PT news that I want to share there. There is some, in terms of updates, there is some other stuff that I wanted to talk about as well. So PT is right on the cusp of doing a bit of an expansion. So we've been putting this off for a little bit, probably a little bit longer than we should have been doing. Mel and I sat down on Friday and had a really frank conversation about some things, and we need to change the way PT works a little bit. So we've tried to keep it very friendly, very low key, and from a customer's perspective and speaking to you guys, that's how it's going to stay. But at the same time, we need to do more. So we are actually going to be actively recruiting for 3 new roles, and details of those will be posted on our website Monday or Tuesday, depends on when we get the listings written up. Applications will be open for a couple of weeks, and we want to grow our team. So if you're interested in looking for some new challenge, some new work, you want to relate it to keyboards, maybe take a look at these when they go live. It's not going to be too far away now. But basically, we want to try and change how we do some of the work that we do internally to benefit you guys, to help keep our prices low and help keep things flowing faster. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we're able to offer things to the right people at the right time. So we've got a number of different roles that we want to do that to expand. I'm not going to go too much into it because a lot of it's quite internal and quite personal. And basically what I need to do is free up my own time so that I'm not constantly stuck in DRMs. Into DRM. I don't know, again, into DMs and email support, because that's not really what I want to do. I want to try and move away from that and try and start moving into getting back into the design aspects of stuff, making sure that Prototype is moving in the right places and doing the right things that I want it to do, just like the vision of the company. Because I feel like we've fallen away from that just a tiny little bit, so that's going to change. So watch out for more news on that in the next couple of weeks. We will share some things on how we're going to work going forwards and what you might expect to see from us, as well as also we'll be recruiting for some new roles, and those advertisements will go up soon. So if you're interested in applying for them, please do consider it. Think carefully when the announcements go up, and then follow the instructions on the announcements page. Okay, let's catch up with chat once more before we start to look at some of the stuff we're going to do today. I'm going to show you the EM8 first, then we'll build the Loki 65, and then we'll look at the Thera 75 at the end of the stream. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Skimson says, hi Jay, how are you doing today? I'm doing well, man, thanks for asking. If Mel buys another board, I will be amazed. I don't think Mel plans on buying it. I think she plans on stealing it off me, but we'll see. Holy moly, the EM8 group buy was $900. It was not cheap. It was not cheap. I missed it. What is board is Bell buying? I think she's going to steal the Loki 65 off me. Yeah. Is the Amahatsu in stock? Yeah, it's in stock right now. We've got a small number of them, is all I'll say. We have some in the workshop. They'll ship within 3 working days. If you want one void main, you can do that. Just order it and get through it. What can I do if a vendor does an exit scam? Sid with Bliss, that's really hard to say because it really depends on which vendor you mean and whether they've actually done an exit scam or not. Because a lot of people think people have done exit scams when they really haven't. Like if you've given them money and they've spent that money on producing the product and then the project has fallen through, that's not an exit scam. That's them. They don't have the money anymore, right? So it really depends on what you mean, and it really depends on where you are in the world as well, because laws are different all around the world, and it will depend on where the vendor you've purchased from is as to what that means. Do I need an archaeologist? No, I don't. John Doe says, hi me. Look, I'm not going to talk about who I'm going to hire on stream because that would be really unprofessional, but we are recruiting for new roles. That's all I'm going to say. You can apply for them once we put the announcements live, and there'll be instructions on there on how to apply. Perlin says, are they remote roles or in-house roles? A mixture of both. It depends on what they're doing. Sorry, man. Hey, man, good to see you. Thank you for coming and saying hi at the meetup the other day. It was nice to see you. You guys hate DMs. Man, my DMs are kind of like packed. I don't dislike DMs in and of themselves. What I dislike is the sheer number I get. So like, because I took 4 days away from DMs while we were at the meetup last week, I took the Friday off because we were traveling down to London, the Saturday and Sunday because we were in London, and then there was kind of like half of Thursday and half of Monday where I wasn't really able to work, and it was like 4 working days, let's call it, that I didn't reply to DMs. And I'm now in a position where this morning when I woke up, I had over 2,000 DMs to answer and over 250 support emails. And I don't want to be in that position because it means that it slows me down doing the stuff I want to do. Never mind slowing me down, giving you guys the responses you need. So that's part of the reason why we need to recruit. But the other part is because PT is expanding, we're becoming a bigger business, and we're looking at bigger workspaces and all sorts of things. So it's just the right time. In fact, it's probably, if anything, it's a little bit late. That's all. How about QA engineer? You'll see the roles we're looking for in the announcements later on this week. So there you go. Omas already has the role of pole master. That's an unpaid internship. Let's put it that way. Do I own a Jelly Epoch? I don't own a Jelly Epoch. No, it's one of the few boards I don't have. Does Link 65 a good keyboard for you compared to OW's? I assume that means Owl Lab's previous work. So I think the Link 65 is pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good board for the price. Like, you have to bear in mind where these fit based on the price and cost of them. And I think in terms of the price slot where it sits, it's a really good money for value board. What's an exit scam? An exit scam, an example would be you wanted to sell me a product and you sold it to me and 100 other people, but then you took all the money and you didn't actually go and make it and you ran away with the money and then closed your business down. That would be an exit scam, Dave. There you go. Talking about Oromec in Canada. Okay, so yeah, I'm aware of the situation with Oromec. It's probably not right for me to comment on it as another vendor. I think there's some good public opinions on that from some other streamers and other vendors and other community members that I've seen. I think you probably need to look at Canadian law as to what's actually possible for you to do. It's difficult for me to say, man. I really don't want to get involved in that kind of discussion. DMs are so much easier than emails, so I feel for you. I'd move for a job at PT. I don't want anyone to move. That's a little bit extreme. Would you ever be able to stock Bobo U4 sound switches? We've asked if we can, as has every other UK vendor, I think, and Gazoo has turned us all down. So at the minute, it's difficult. PT is a superbly run business. Exciting to hear it's growing. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's difficult for us to run things a lot of the time. Like, it takes up a lot of my time. I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week most of the time. So it's time to start cooling that down a little bit and still keeping up the level of service. That's the trick. Is it possible to take off the USB port for Heine boards? I was thinking I could just hack it off and solder a JST connector. Yeah, so the Heine boards do have a breakout area where you can solder on a JST connector that has the right pins there. Make sure you get them in the right output for the JST daughter board that you're going to use. In terms of snapping off the actual USB port, make sure you score it with a knife a few times first so that you actually cut the traces, and then when you snap it off, it doesn't rip the traces out. I've done it before myself and ripped the traces out, and it's really bad. And then you spend up like 4 hours having to like put jumper wires in. Don't do that. Score it nicely, then snap it off. There you go. That's awesome. Now do I need to eat for the next few months? You mean with the hat suit? Yeah, it's an expensive board, but it's probably worth it. Like, if you can use a split like that, it's worth it. Is that the GAF TGR 910? Yeah, it is. Yeah. What color XOX are we building? We're going to build the green one. I'll show it to you guys soon. Do you own any keyboards that you will never let go of? Yeah, my original JO1 prototype, that will never leave me because it was the first board that I actively was involved in the design and production of. So I'll never get rid of that. I've sadly given away... one of the things I do... So I do and I don't regret this next thing. So there's part of me that regrets it and part of me that doesn't regret it. And it's kind of like... I made a decision for the right reasons at the right time, if that makes sense. But the JO2 prototype and the JO1 Rev1 prototypes, I gave both of those away. I kind of wish I still had them, but at the same time, I don't regret giving them away, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? That's kind of difficult for me to explain. But yeah, other than that, there's a few other boards that will never leave me. My Chrome ID B60 will probably never leave me, I don't think, because it's just stupid. I have a ton of other keyboards. Like, never say never, because like it's difficult to say. But yeah, the derivative I'll probably never sell my derivative from Justin, because that's just one of my favorite 60%. Yeah, like, there's a few boards. There is a few. I think it's easier with key sets than it is with boards to say what I won't sell. How much hair do you have under the cap? Just a normal amount. Like, there's streams of me with my hair out, so like, you're welcome to have a look at that. If you really, really want me to skimson and you like donate some subs, I will take my hat off for you. Let's put it that way. I remember you mentioned before that you had a few nice watches. What do you have in your collection? Yeah, so I like to collect Amiga watches. I have quite a few of those, vintage ones particularly. I'm just about starting to collect the Moons watch series between Swatch and Amiga as well. I have one of them so far. I want to collect a few more. I've got a few vintage watches as well, like for different things. Like, I like to collect things that have got interesting histories. So one of the cool things I have is I actually have one of the early tuning fork watches, which was one of the first watches approved for the US railroads because the tuning fork kept better time than like wind-up mechanisms did, and this was before the days of quartz watches, so it was like the first US railroad approved watch. So I have one of those. Yeah, I've got some modern Amigas that my wife bought me around Christmas and like when we got married and things like that. I don't own any Rolexes. That's not kind of my thing. I have one Tudor, but I don't really like it that much. I have an Apple Watch, which I wear for the workshop a lot of the time. I've just recently picked up a brew watch. If you haven't seen this and you're into coffee, it's a brew watch. It's like designed to help you brew coffee at the right times. It's pretty cool. I have that in the retro colorway. I have a H87A, which doesn't necessarily seem to have the cutout point, but I'll try. Oh yeah, the H87A doesn't have that. Yeah, it doesn't. Some of the other ones do. Did the 50 places for the Loki sell out in the end? No, it's still open. It's still open. You can still join it. Is it the key cult? I don't have any key cults anymore. I think I've sold them. Do I have any more? I'm not sure. I'd have to check with Mel, but I think I've sold them. I might still have a number 165 left, but I don't know if she sold that for me or not. It's okay. You're going to get a new series, J series prototypes. I have one just behind me now. So I have the Blackout JO2 behind me on the floor. I don't know why it's on the floor, but it is. Dave, that sounds really cool about the Polygon 65. I'm glad you're having a positive experience with that. Some people love the derivatives, some people love the moment. Have I tried a moment? No, I haven't tried a moment yet. We will be running the group buy for the UK for the moment, and I expect it to do pretty well. Like, if people aren't considering it, then they should be. Let's put it that way. What are my thoughts on the GMK dots issue? It feels like GMK is cooking all of us. Like, the thing is with the GMK dots issue, like, in all of the sets we sold, I've had one customer affected, and like, I think between all of the sets that from all of the vendors, as far as I've seen, there's like less than 5 worldwide instances reported, so I don't think it's a huge issue. GMK are going to replace them anyway, so I don't see what the problem is. Like, people are making out like here's some big deal, and Beep's announcement was kind of like scary to some and shocking to others. We haven't experienced it on most of our sets. Like, less than 1% of the sets I sold has had the issue so far, so it's kind of like, it doesn't feel like it's a big issue. And if GMK are going to replace it anyway, and you still have the keycaps just because they look a little bit off, I don't think it's GMK cooking anyone. I hate that term. Like, I really do hate it. Like, I can understand that people are upset if they don't get what they pay for, but as long as the vendor puts that right with GMK and makes sure that you've got the right thing in the end, I think that's okay. One King Alara says Amiga is 10 out of 10 in my opinion, but I rock my Oris on a daily. Nice. I thought you were speaking of Amiga watches, which would have been awesome. Omegas are pretty awesome anyway. Yeah, Omega, not Amiga. Omega, yeah. OMEGA, yeah. Are the Brew watches the vintage inspired chronos? I think I've seen them before. Yeah, you can just search Brew watches, and I've got the retro one. You can see that. You're going to get even more Geo Series prototypes. I know, we need to get them sorted out this week. We need to get them sorted out. I can't decide which colour Tomo I want, says Matt Black. Do you have any other than the pink one you built a few weeks ago nearby, benches? I don't. They're all boxed up and ready to ship because they're in stock items. My favourite was the pink, I'll be honest. Like, my favourite was the pink. I think it really depends if you want something that's a bold colour or whether you want something that's going to match in with anything else. I can tell you the most common colour ordered in the group buy was the Suave Blue, if that helps. Okay, right. Okay, I've talked a lot. I've talked to you guys an awful lot over the past 35 minutes, 40 minutes, about different things. So it's time to show you something instead. So let's start with the EMA unboxing. I'm going to show you that it's going to be like, I'm not sure how I'm going to fit it on the desk because like I had to zoom the camera right in and stuff to hide things. But I'm going to show you the EMA. Now I haven't opened this as yet. I'm going to see it for the first time with you guys. But I'm kind of excited for this, and this is what we're going to build next week. So on this time stream, but next Sunday, that's what we're going to build. So let me get this, and I'll show you guys how the EM8 looks. Coffee down to one side. Skimson has gifted 1 sub to viewer. Oh, is this where you want to see my hair? Is this where you want to see my hair? Is that what you did that, Skimson, for? I don't need to take anything. I'll show you. I made a promise. I'm not a man to back away from my word. Let me show you. So this is how much hair I have. It's very messy because, well, I've had my hat on, but there you go. I don't wear it with a fringe, like, I don't, but hold on. There we go. That's more how I usually wear it. It's very messy right now, but that's kind of how it usually gets worn. There you go. Right, okay. I'm glad I've put my headphones back on because now I can't hear the 3D printers because I could before when I took my headphones off. I'm glad I can't. Right, time to show you the EMA. Let's flick over the camera. Okay, so this comes in a massive box. And when I say massive, the camera's not going to do it justice. So the camera's dimmed because it's now reflecting off the white material. But there you go. I tell you, this is massive. I promise you it really is. So there's 2 boxes in here. I'm just going to slide these out and show you one by one. Right, that's one box. I just dropped the other box. That's the second box. There we go. That was difficult. It's like, I don't know if it's 10 kilograms. It probably is 10 kilos, yeah. I'd say that's probably about right. 10 kilos for both boxes is probably about right. This is the first box. Let's see what we've got inside.
Tasty,
I think we can see that there is a split here. Golden Ratio, thank you so much for the sub. He's 7.2 kilograms with the wrist rest, I think. That doesn't surprise me. Oh, wait. I thought I ordered a different color of this. I'm not sure how I feel now because I thought I'd ordered a different color. I don't even know if I want to show you now. Here we go. I could have sworn I'd ordered the black. Oh gosh, this is heavy. Oh, okay, that's not stuck together properly. Let's go in from the side. Jeez, this is heavy. Okay. So this is the EM8. This is my personal EM8 unit. I do love the sides on this. Look at that. That's really cool. Ugh. No weight installed yet. That's really chunky. That's hugely chunky. It's full of foam on the inside. I'm hoping... I'm not sure. I didn't realize I bought this color. I thought I'd bought the black. I don't know how I feel about that. It's nicely made though. The machining's good. All the lines are crisp. Like here, where the little bezel that runs around the edge, where it stops here, that's really nicely done. That's lovely. Same on the other side. That's a really nice little detail. EM8's deeply engraved. The USB port's really deep as well. Like, it's really hard to show you, but the USB port itself is really deep. The EM8's lovely engraved though. Okay, that's really nicely made. That's the first thing I can tell you. Let's take a look inside the other box and see if we've got the rest of it in there. Can't lift it. No weight installed. Yeah. Let's have a look inside the other box. Let's say we will be building this on stream next Sunday. God, this box is heaviest. Oh, I assume this is the other parts box, as it says other parts box on it. Oh, look, there's the jeez. That's the wrist rest. Oh my gosh. That's the wrist rest. It's a little bit dirty, but it's, I hope that marks not permanent. Yeah, it's just dirt on it. That's chunky as hell. That's the wrist rest. This is just like a solid block of aluminium. My gosh, that's heavy. We've got all the other little bits that we need here. I assume this is the weight. Oh, yeah, that's the weight. Let's take a quick look at this. Oh, we've made a mess of that. Oh well. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. And unwrapping ASMR for you there. Whoa, that shiny boy. Okay. So I know some people have had some issues with the weights. Let's take a look and be objective about this. This is really shiny. Can you see there where there is some kind of brushing marks in the light? I think that they'd come out with a bit of a polish. I don't think they're permanent scratches. Let's have a look and see. So you guys can see there in the light there is some blemishes. Let's see if we can polish that up. Yeah, okay, so that starts to polish up a little bit. It removes some of those scratches a little bit. Oh no, it doesn't. Look, those scratches are quite deep in there. I can't see what I'm seeing on the camera in real life, but I'm sure you guys can see it. Okay, so it is quite scratchy. It's still very shiny. I don't want to touch this with bare hands. There's some quite big scratches in the middle of the weight. Can you see that big scratch just in the middle? Goes across the two bits. It's very shiny. Yeah, okay, I'm a little bit disappointed there. The backside, I'd expect to see mill nuts and stuff on, which you can see. That's fine, that's all going to be hidden. But yeah, okay. Worthwhile bearing that in mind, though. Let's put that back in there. We'll get some things for me. Tackle that next week. Okay, so that's the EM8 build stream for this next week. That's probably going to be quite a long build stream. Right, let's catch up with chat very, very quickly before we start the actual build. Okay, can't lift it, no wait until... Yeah, it's a heavy boy. It's a heavy boy. How does the machining and anode look on the camera? It looks precise. So the machining on the board itself looks really neat and tidy. The anodization's lovely. I think it'll match quite well. I think the stainless steel part has some issues, but that's that. What's the difference between a group buy and a pre-order? So group buy is pre-production. Pre-order is when it's actually in manufacturing. Did you join the month 7 group buy? I didn't, True Blaze, and the reason I didn't is because I bought the EM8, so I didn't feel the need to buy both. Apparently my headset's low on battery, whatever that means. That's a wrist rest. It is, yeah. When I first saw the EM8, I thought the EM8 section was stainless steel for some reason, which I love the idea of, but it wasn't. Yeah, it's just the inside. It's the chunkiest wrist rest I've ever seen as well, and I've seen a lot of wrist rests. I think Alex also built this board a few days ago. I might be wrong. Yeah, I got it in just over a week ago. I got it in not this Wednesday, just gone, the Wednesday before, just before we went to the UK meetup. So that's the first time I've had a chance to look at it. Thanks for all the sucks and stuff, guys. But it's fine. It's fine. Is that polished or PVD? I think it's PVD coated, but I'm not certain on that. I haven't actually taken the time to take a look at it properly. The board is so heavy that you'll never see its bottom. It's true, but it kind of wanted it to be nice. I can probably polish it up with some actual polishing compound and stuff, but I don't really want to have to do that. Headphones. I'm using the Sony WHM XM3s today because I left my XM4s at home, and I haven't bought the XM5s as yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's PVD. Like, it looked like PVD rather than actually polished, but maybe we can sandblast it and polish it. That might be nice. Okay, right. Time for me to go show you guys the XOX70, because that's what we're actually going to build today. In fact, I'm going to leave that cloth just there because I might need it for this. So, the first thing I'm going to do is show you the board how it is right now. Then we're going to strip it down and then we're going to rebuild it. And you guys are going to help me pick the spec how we rebuild it. This is how I took the board to the meetup. This is how it comes in this nice stock supply case. Pretty standard to see these carry cases these days, but this is how it came. This is the green color. And it's wearing Canon Caps 9009 Dark right now, which I thought was quite a fitting keycap set for it. This is the board. It's absolutely lovely. It's a really nice shade of green. Full aluminium plate in there for now. It's got the little LED logo here. Here's the rear of the board. Excuse all the fingerprints. It was taken to a meetup, so a lot of people touched this one and used it. So there you go. One thing I do really love about this board, though, is this curve here. Look how nice this is. Look how nice this curve on the rear is. Look how nice that lovely piece is. I do really, really like that. As you might have guessed, the board is completely screwless from the outside. There are screws in it, but you can't see them from the outside. And the board does come with a number of other things. I think I put the Owl Lab stabilizers in here, but everything else came with it. So we'll take that out. So I have some spare gaskets. There we go, and a tool as well. We have some more spare gaskets. The reason I have so many gasket sets for this is because they've sent me literally one of every plate combination. So let me show you what plates we have, and you guys are going to get to pick the plate we build this with in a few minutes. We have a POM plate. We have a half alu plate. The full alu plate is inside it. Oh no, what's that stuff on? Okay, we'll have to take the paper off if we want to use that. We have a half FR4 plate, and we have a full FR4 plate. So those are the plates that we have. I think We have some additional foams here as well. So there's like a whole foam pack here as well if we want to use that. I think just to make it easier for you guys to judge how the board is, we won't use the foams today though. It's gorgeous. Oh my, it's a lovely looking board. So first things first, before we actually start the rest of the build and I show you more details about the board while I take it apart, let's pick the board. Let's pick the plate you want to see me build this with, guys. So let me set up a poll. So we have full alu, we have half alu, we have POM, we have full FR4, and we have half FR4. Okay, poll's going up, guys. You guys get to pick which of these in top of chat if you want to have a look. You guys get to pick which poll you'd like to see. Which poll you'd like to see, which plate you'd like to see through the poll in the build. So whichever you guys pick, that's the plate we'll use today. Once you guys are voting, I'll start to show you a bit more about the board and take it apart. And I say we won't use the foams today, so you guys get a really good understanding of what it actually works like. This is 9009 Dark. I thought it fit the board quite well. I thought it looked quite nice on the board, so that's why I went with it. You can change your minds when we get to the end of the stream if you want to see a different keycap set on it. But first and foremost, I'm going to take the keycaps off. And then we can start to look at how the board's actually put together on the inside. It was great to try this one out last week. Really, really tempted to buy one. Yeah, the green is lovely. It's probably the nicest of the colours in my personal opinion, but I do really like the green. Am I the only one who hears the mic quality when Jay rustles the paper? Yeah, it's because of the gain I have set onto the mic, so when the paper rustles, it will try and reduce the input so you guys don't hear it too much. It is background noise suppression, yeah. Oh, you want a quick sound test before the rebuild? Yeah, sure. Let's do a sound test with those few keycaps off, because I don't want to put them back on. I know the music's really, really quiet, and you guys probably can't hear it because of the song that's on, but I'm going to pause it anyway. Okay. Here we go. This is how the board sounds right now. Okay, so it's a really, really brief test of how the board actually sounds right now. I haven't looped the stabilizers, I don't think. Basically, I just threw this together, so I had something to take to the meetup, so I apologize, guys. But it's going to sound better when we finish building it properly anyway. So, there we go. Right, let's take these keycaps off. Sounds greasy. I don't know what that means. I think it sounds quite nice, actually. Bearing in mind it's a full aluminium plate. It's probably not the best build for this, but I just had to have something ready to take to the meetup. So it got what came first, basically. It got what was the easiest to put together at short notice. Did I loop these steps? Oh, I did loop the steps. They didn't feel looped, but that's okay. This is the hot swap version, so we'll be able to do a little bit of a test today, and we won't need to solder it. You think the suppression is killing all the keyboard sounds? Maybe. We'll fix the suppression later on. I just didn't want you guys to hear the 3D printers too much. Let's put the music back on. I'll start playing a new song in a second. Oops. I just threw a keycap on the floor, didn't I? Where did that go? Oh. There it is. There we go. There's some noise suppression going for that sound test. I'll turn it off when we do the final sound test. I'll turn it off then for that, because I don't want you guys to hear something it's not. But yeah, the noise suppression is so you don't hear the 3D printers going in the background, because they're literally 6 feet away and they can get quite loud. Do you hear more printer than switches? You might do. You might do. If it comes through, you can always pause the 3D printers anyway. I just don't like to do that unless I have to. You printing in the silent mode? No, I don't print in silent mode because it just That usually slows them right down. What's been printed on the lower one? So on the top one, we're printing some stem holders so that we can give them away when people buy switches. I apologize for the camera quality, it's not great. And then on the bottom one, let's see if you guys can guess what I'm printing. It might not be obvious. There's a lot of support material there hiding the blocky shape of them, but see if anyone can guess what we're printing there, because there's a lot of parts to it. I'm glad you're social distancing with 3D printers. Yeah. Axe? It's not an axe, no. Okay, so the half value plate has won the poll, so that's what we're going to build with today. It didn't win by much though. I would say that it won by quite a fair margin. It won by 13%. So, Zakira's like, I actually printed off a lot of 3D plate forks the other day. I just haven't had a chance to test them before I work out. Some people have emailed me about them, and some people have asked me in Discord about them. I do want to. I just ripped the top off that switch. I do want to do something with them. We'll see. Like, it's not a guarantee that anything's going to happen anytime soon. It depends, because I haven't had a chance to test them yet. But I have printed 20 or so off, so we'll see. Rigged? Probably. It is a clamp, yeah. It's one of the fractal clamps, correct? Or it's a lot of the parts for a fractal clamp. There is the actual main case of the clamp to still print, which will be printing in the silver PLA in the top printer once that's finished in the morning. Correct, yeah, well done. Well done, good guess, boy, good guess. Going forwards, I'll make sure that nothing's printing while we're streaming, but sadly for this video, I couldn't stop that, unfortunately. We can always pause them if we need to for the sound test at the end, though. You still like a perpetual motion machine? Doesn't exist. You can't do perpetual motion. The laws of thermodynamics stop it. Like, literally, it's not possible. I wish it were, but it's not. You did see the YouTube about that clamp? Yeah, someone found the metal version, right? We used to have a metal version at my school. I remember it vividly from when I was a kid. And I've had the files for this one for quite some time, just waiting a time where I could make it. So, yeah, there we go. Will I build un-ISO or ISO? I don't know. I think we can only build in ANSI. Because I think that's all the hotspot PCB supports. I don't think we have the choice on that because they didn't send me a solder PCB. They just sent me the hotspot PCB. So I think we have to build it ANSI. So I apologize in advance for that. But this is a prototype. It's not a personal board. It's not something I get to keep, sadly. I do have to send this back in a few days' time. Hey, if that's all I have for now, that's all I have for now. One of my favorite keycap sets. I think one of my favorites of all time is one that you'll actually get a chance to choose later on if you like it or not. But it's Royal Alpha. So I prefer the GMK version, but I think I dug out the EPBT version for today. So GMK Royal Alpha with the white modifiers is probably one of my favorites. I also like the one that I designed, GMK Midnight Rainbow. I'm a big Honeywell fan. I've got pretty much every version of Honeywell ever run. I also like OG keycap sets like Dolch and well, just the OG colorways as well, OG beige as well. Gosh, some of these are tight to pull out. That just does not want to go. There we go. Okay. So there we go. So that's the keycaps removed. You can now see where the screw parts are. Here, there's one here as well. One there and one just there. So we're going to take it apart. I think we need a T6 if I remember rightly. I think. No, it's even smaller than that. Let's go for a T5. See if that fits. Oh, that's T7, not T5. That would help. That's T6. Let's try T6. T6 fits. There we go. We're just going to undo the screws that hold the top and bottom case together. And there's 6 of these in total. Now do remember, folks, a lot of people make the mistake when they're using a hot swap board of just pulling the switches out at this point and re-putting the new ones in. Whilst you can do that, it can damage the PCB, so I do recommend always taking the PCB out and laying it on a flat surface before you change the switches, even when it is hot swap. Just a little something to bear in mind. I think that's it. There we go. Okay, so you go. You can see the screws have still remained in. You can see one just here in this corner, and you can see there's like little tabs that reach out from the main top case to allow those screws to sit in place. I think if I tip this up, these are going to fall out, right? I don't really want them to fall out, but if we have to, we have to. There we go. That's all of them out. Let's put them to one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6. That's 7. Where's number 8? Where's number 8 go? Definitely not still in here. Right, okay. Go in here. Where did number 8 go? Where did screw 8 go? How did we lose a screw on a desk? Okay, we lost a screw on the desk. Oh. Okay, don't know how we did it, but we lost a screw on the desk. Where the hell did that go? Did it go in the plates? Oh, it's in the plates. I found it. There's number 8. There's screw 8. Rolled into the plates. There we go. Okay. So now we're taking the top case off. You can see the bottom case here. It's got the plate resting on its gaskets. The gasket strips are installed on the case, and that just slots into the bottom of the case there. So we can lift this out. And there's a cool couple of things in here that I want to show you. I'll just disconnect the PCB from the JST connector. So a couple of things inside I want to show you. So first of all is the brass weights. You can see there's 2 nice big brass weights. They do add quite a bit of weight to it. The next thing I want to show you is a JST cable. So one of the things you'll notice is this cover. This cover is pretty cool. So I thought this was just laser cut acrylic. It's not. It's milled polycarbonate. They've actually milled this out of polycarbonate, and it hides the daughter board and the JST cable. That's a really cool little idea. I'm a big fan of that, and I can't believe they actually milled polycarbonate for it. But hey, it works, right? It looks great. The little pocket here for the JST connector underneath the board, so that's where it connects. See the gaskets are installed here already as well. These were already pre-installed when I picked the board up. It was like that when it was sent to me. And there you go, you can see the side profile better here of that lovely curve. Look at that. It is just really nice as that curve. It's just a lovely thing. PCB and plate assembly, pretty standard. Just got the leaf spring effect. I say leaf spring effect tabs. The unusual thing here is it's got 2 shorter ones on either end. That's kind of unusual. Don't see that a lot. And of course it has the LEDs here. Those are for the LED eyes on the top case of the little logo just there. There you go. Free board for showing off is a free board. Can't complain too much about the layout. Exactly, yeah. What makes your keyboard have the marbly sound? Its preference. Oh, you mean PFO? Yeah, it can do, yeah. This would match with GMK Olive so well. I do have GMK Olive. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it when I was setting up for the stream. That's not one of the options I have for today. I do have it though somewhere. Do I need to flash the Zoom 65 for it to be compatible with VIA? Currently, it's not recognizing the device. Yes, there's a sideload version of the JSON file, JSON. If you Google that in the WOOC Discord, you'll be able to see how to do it. Hot swap sockets go snap. Yeah, we quite often see people who've just done like this and pushed them in whilst the board's built and pushed the hot swap sockets off the base of the board. And I think that that's probably the wrong way to do it. You probably want to hold it like this and put it on your desk and then put the keycaps in. That's where we put the switches in. That's the better way to do it. Okay, so now we've done that, let's take out our switches and then you guys can pick which switches we're going to use for the build today. if I don't fire these all over the place. So I do really like the Rook switch puller. It's a really good tool. The only problem I have with it is sometimes it's easy to twist. It kind of snaps around on you. So I'm just trying to be ultra careful of that. Like that. Do like the cover. The cover's really cool, right? The cover's just such a neat little idea. And the fact that it's milled polycarbonate, just like you could do that in pennies for like laser cut acrylic, but to do it in milled polycarbonate is probably like $1 or $2. Like it just adds to that premium feel. Neapolitans were in the process of restocking, Alex. We're just waiting for them to come. Are we doing hot swap with half plate? Yeah, that's what people have picked. Hot swap with half plate. We should be okay. We should be fine. Like the switches are pretty firm into both the plate and the PCB on this board, so it should work just okay. There we go. I don't know where that switch went. That is the only problem with these Rookie switch pullers. Like they do sometimes twist on you as you're pulling the switches out. The switches shouldn't be loose. They should be fine. They fit into this PCB just nicely. If this works, I'll pick up extra plates too. Well, let's see. I think Yankar designed this PCB. I might be wrong on that. Did he? I don't see his logo actually. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Yankar didn't design it. I could have sworn that he was involved, and usually I think Yankar's designs work really well. So, Zosko, hey man, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, that's the only downside to these Wookie switch pullers. They sometimes just twist. They need slightly widening at the tips. Sorry, not the tips. Like where the thumb grip is. They just need to be like a little bit wider here. And this narrow here. That's the only thing I'd change on these. They're a really good tool. Other than that, it's the one thing. Like they just twist a little bit sometimes. Okay. There we go. Try and speed up a little bit here. No, these are Gateron X's. These are the original round of Gateron X. Gateron X round 1. A problem the $90 switch puller does not have. So this isn't the $90 one. This is just the Wookie one. I do have the $90 switch puller. Somewhere here. Let's see if I can find it. I did see it. Okay. The Morgri one. This is the one that costs like $90. This is the Morgri one. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a lovely, lovely tool, and it's chunky. It weighs like 100 grams or something, but it's not the best switch puller. It was my go-to tool until the Wookie one came out. Like, it's for some reason, it just won't grab these switches. Like, it just doesn't grab them. There we go. It doesn't have the twist issues, though, because the flat edge is nice and thick. But the issue is with this is with the prongs. Like, the prongs are not good enough. They are removable and changeable, but they never came out with good ones. So that was the issue with it. Whereas this one has the perfect size prongs, but just the handle's not quite wide enough for my fingers. Just like the way I press it, it just ends up twisting them and flicking the switches off all over the place. You'd be a bit disappointed with a switch pull that can't pull switches. Yeah, especially if you'd spent $90 on it, right? Time to 3D print some grips. I just haven't had time to design any Anarchy. Like I have 1,001 little projects like that I'd love to do. I just struggle for time these days, and that's why we want to make some changes here at PT.
Incredible.
Thank you so much, Fix, for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do a lot of 3D printing, but like I struggle to find time to design my own stuff to 3D print. I have done some stuff, like literally the other day, like we have a label printer, and the labels were sat on the desk, and I wanted to lift them up so that cables could run underneath where they run. So I created a tray with some legs, and it took like 5 minutes in Fusion. Yeah, it'd be nice to get back to actually doing some proper stuff designing in Fusion. I did make someone a promise a long time ago that I would never design keyboard stuff in Fusion, but I think that that's going to have to change soon. I think that I might have to break that promise soon. Okay. So these switches are almost all removed, which means that in a minute or two, we'll be ready for you guys to pick the next switches that are going to get into the build. Trojam, hey man, good to see you. What changes we're going to make? We talked about it earlier on in the stream, but basically we're going to start recruiting and changing how PT runs as a whole. So we have got a few members of staff right now, but we're going to increase our number of staffing. I don't know what that is. Why is that in there? We are going to increase our numbers of staff, and that's just going to allow me to go back to more of a pure product role rather than just doing everything that I have to do to run the business. So basically I need someone who I can delegate stuff to. That's one of the big things I need, and that's something that we're looking into moving forwards. As well as that, we've also got some other positions coming up in the workshop and around the place as well. Don't worry, I'll always need your help, Josh. I'll always need your help. Okay, there we go. Right, that's the switches out. So that means I can take off the old plate and I can show you guys how the PCB looks. So there you go. This is the XOX Supplies PCB. I'm pretty sure Yanka didn't design this because there's no Yanka logo on it. I'm pretty sure he didn't. I don't know why I said that he had. Clearly he wasn't. That's a lie. Completely ignore that. Nice big flex cuts in the PCB. It's pretty standard. Flex cuts all down here. 2 long flex cuts here and here. Stabilizers are in all the positions we need them in. We can't change those, so there's probably no point in doing anything with those. We're just going to rebuild the board. You guys get to pick switches now. So I have a few different types for you. Let's set up another poll, and you guys can pick the switches we're going to use today. Right, new poll. Which switch? Okay, so the first one we can use is the ones you've seen me take out of the board today, which is Gateron XR1. That's the round one of the GATX. I also have 2 other stuff which you can pick here today. I have the multi-linears, which are pretty cool. So I'll pop those down. And we also have Gateron Ink V2s. These are the Black Inks V2s. You can always pick those. Okay, poll is now starting. I'm going to put these switches in the bag just in case you don't pick Gateron X round 2s. Sorry, round 1s. GATX R1. Let's have a look, see how it's going on. Handsome chap. Hey man, I think you're a little bit more handsome than me. Like, for those that you don't know, I met Kurin the other week in London, and he was the nicest guy. Also, you never reached out to me, dude, about those Monoke caps. If you still want that, just drop me a DM and we'll sort them out. We'll sort them out. I had a really nice dinner with Kurin and Lewis, actually. Lewis Flood. We went out with like 15 other people for dinner. We went to a really nice place called Koya in London. It was lovely. Like, it was just really nice. We had some sake, we had some good food. We went for a long walk across London following Lewis. He was supposed to be taking us to other people, and we followed him for like 30 minutes walking across London. No clue where we were. I used to live in London, so like I just had no idea where we were. I haven't tried the Gateron X's with 2-stage springs. I do like the 2-stage springs, actually. They get firm as you press. But I haven't really used them with Gateron Inks. So, yeah. Sounds very romantic for some reason. There was a lot of people there. It wasn't really romantic, but it was really nice. Like, it was just lovely. Bixboo says, Jay, awkward question. What's your favorite Switch? I'm going to give you a different answer every couple of weeks to this because as new stuff comes out, new stuff takes my pick. If I was to pick something that like is available right now to buy, I would probably pick Blush Linears. But realistically, it's probably SKCM Browns. Like they're probably going to be at the top of my list more often than not. Other Switches are going to come in and out of rotation depending on what I'm using at the time. Seems like a 30-minute walk across London is something we both did. Yeah, I heard about yours as well, Anarchy. Need new shoes after all that London walking? Yeah, I know the feeling, man. It was nice though to get out and have a beer. That bar we went to was packed as well. Like it was really packed. And then after that, I don't think you and Lewis came, but we went back to my hotel room. And for those of you who saw the Instagram stories, we had like a little veranda outside my hotel room on the roof of the building. It was really nice. There was like 7 or 8 of us out there having a few drinks. In fact, Zondat from Noxery was there. And me and him were just drinking gin and tonics all night. It was cool. Yeah. You haven't worn the same shoes since. Yeah. Like it was a really long walk. It was a really, really long walk. Right, which Switch are you guys voting for? Okay, so you're voting for the Inkview 2s at the minute. Okay, we'll see how that goes. You've still got a couple of minutes left to vote. Vote is in chat. Pick which you want to see in the board, and we'll pop it into the board in a minute or two. 3D printers are hard at work. Are we getting the Owl Lab neons in? We're looking at them, yeah. So we're speaking with Owl Lab about getting those in. No promises yet, but it might happen. The issue with switches is we have a lot of different stock of switches in, and we have a lot of the switches that we have in stock, if that makes sense. Like we have like just massive numbers, and that's funds that are tied up. So like we just need to make sure we're making the right decisions for switches going forwards. That's all. So we'll see how that goes. People tagging me on Discord now. Okay, it's not something I need to touch there. Favorite gin? I don't think I have a favorite gin. Like we were just drinking the ones in cans because we were back in my hotel room. They weren't the best. Favorite gin? I don't know. I think I prefer a slow gin to anything else, but yeah, I couldn't give you like a specific brand. I don't drink enough gin. Like if it was whiskey, I could probably give you a few brands that I really like Brookladdick and like Voulin and Glenlivet as well. Those 3 are probably my favorite things to drink if I'm going to have a drink. It just happens that we were drinking gin and tonics that night. That's all. Yeah, we went to a different bar club, and that's where Pokemon Man and I got all too wasted. He was really bad the next morning. Like I was speaking to Pexon from Pexon Cables the next morning, and Pokemon Kid was really, really, really bad. He's supposed to be coming to buy a truck off me in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm still wondering if he's going to be hungover then. He was that bad. When the hell did the Mochis take the lead? I don't know. I didn't see that. But if you guys want to influence it, now's the time because you've got like 10 seconds left. Mochis are going to win. There we go. Can I order some blush lilies and have you have Matt the Pokemon Kid loop them and pay for that as well? We'll sort it out next week, dude. I'm sure we can figure something out. Right, okay, so Ink and Gator on X round 1, so you can go back in the box of switches. JO2's now on top of the box of switches. Right, okay, so flick over the camera. Okay, so these are the switches we're going to use. These are the Mochi switches. I don't know if these are even lubed or not. I didn't even tell you guys if these are lubed or not. Let's take a look. These are not lubed. These are stock. So you guys picked a stock switch. Well done. Congratulations. Let's get that aluminium half plate. Okay, so there is some tissue paper stuck to this. Let's see if we can fix that. Okay, so there's a little bit of glue here. Let me see if I can scrape that off. Okay, so there's just a little bit of glue that's got caught on these. It'll just take a second to remove with a nail. There we go. Okay, nice and tidy. There we go. Okay, so this is the plate that we're going to use today. This is the one you guys picked. Half value. Let's start popping some switches in. This is just you being lazy. Nothing new there then, Josh. Nothing new there. Let's pop the switches all out, and we'll see if we can get the board nice and quickly. So I'm going to start with the ones inside the plate. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to push them into the plate. This one's a little bit trickier. There we go. There we go. And then once I push them into the plate, I'm just going to do a few dotted around.
Tasty, tasty.
Thank you so much for Keeps for the sub, man. I really appreciate that.
Incredible.
Manu, hey man, good. Thank you so much for the sub as well, dude. I appreciate that. Fluffy Keeps subscribed for 14 months. That's huge, man. That's huge. Manu, hey man, good to see you.
Tasty, tasty.
Tasty, tasty indeed. Thank you so much for the subs and follows, guys. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to put the caps lock in. This board only supports full caps lock on the hot swap version, so that's what we're going to have to go for. Josh says I have a new sit stand desk that I can have fun lubing with, and I'm trying to buy a batch of lube switches. Yeah, I too have a new sit stand desk, and I haven't even put it together yet. Got to remember that this board is win keyless, so we are going to have to build it without the win keys in position. Oh, that's got a hole tie attached to it. I don't know how that's happened. I did wonder why that didn't want to clip in. Let's throw that one away. Maybe these are lubed and maybe I've removed them from something. They don't feel lubed though. Okay, so remember, win keyless, so we are going to miss a switch on either side of the spacebar here and here. Pop our arrow keys in. And see how we're using the hot swap PCB, but we're keeping it flat on the desk when pushing the switches in. That's just going to support the hot swap sockets and just make sure that they don't get damaged or pushed off the PCB as we're pushing switches in. A lot of people miss that and just put the new switches in whilst the board's all put together. That's a bad way of doing things. It can lead to bad times. Okay. Step lock is cursed. What? Stepped caps lock is the best caps lock. What switches? These are Mochi linear switches. Half plate with stock switches and a hot swap PCB. There you go, man. That's probably how most boards get built in real life, right? It's probably a real world example is this. You guys picked it though. Like literally you guys picked every aspect of this build today. You picked the plate, you picked the switches. You're gonna pick the keycaps. How are the matcha switches you have in stock, considering getting a set? They're pretty nice, actually, yeah. The matcha switches are pretty good. Okay, we're picking the worst keycaps. Probably. I wouldn't trust you guys to not. I use caps lock for sprint, so I don't work with steps. That makes sense, that makes sense. Do you know what? I didn't join the Type 65 group buy, and I kind of regret not joining it because they sent me the green prototype to build on stream, and it was really, really lovely. And I was really devastated when I had to send that back. I was really devastated when I had to send that board back. Because I really enjoyed using it. And I'm a sucker for an XT column. So, yeah, I didn't, and I wish I had. I'm going to try and jump on extras whenever they go live. Wait, that doesn't want to go in either. That's another one with the hole tight socket on. The updated J green is lovely. I preferred the original green, but yeah. You join the what's the difference between normal and step caps lock? Step caps lock has like a shorter cap and it's like a flat bit. Like I'll show you guys later on when we're putting keycaps on. You joined the Type 65 based on my stream. That's good to hear, man. Does that make me an influencer? Did I influence you? I don't like that. Yeah, they didn't offer the same green in group buy, like it was a different green. Another one with a hole type on. I wonder if I just use these switches to make like a hole type board at some point. Sounds like them sending you a proto worked out for them in the end. Yeah, I think it did. It was a really nice board, that. Really nice. I'm already an influencer based on my legendary IG stories. Right, all go buy Tomos. Everyone should go buy a Tomo. I don't want to have any in stock by the end of the stream. Go on, off you go, buy a Tomo. No, I don't like the term influencer. I think it's a... I don't know, like, I just don't like it. It feels I don't know. It feels very used car salesman-y. I don't like that. I'm glad you guys like the Instagram stories, though. Purchase a Type 65 also. Nice. It sounds nefarious. It does, yeah. Jay, you just said I bought more boards than you recently. Why are you telling me to buy a Tomo? Everyone should buy a Tomo. Morning chat, could you explain the differences between plates? Do you prefer aluminium versus FR4? I'll let chat come back to you on that one. I think my personal preference is that I prefer a more firmer typing experience than a softer one. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what type of sound you're looking for as well. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all preference, but every plate is valid. It really depends on you as a user, what you'd like to see. Excuse me. There are some differences in feel and sound, depending on what material you use. So mileage may vary and results can be different. Step caps is a leftover from early 80s board that had steps on the mods on either side of the alphas. Yeah, I love all those step caps. One of my favorites is the stepped ISO enter. Now I know that GMK still has the mold for stepped ISO enter, so it might be something that I bring back at some point with them. I'd love to do that. I have 2 Tomos already, a third would bankrupt me. Fair, that's fair. It's genuinely a lovely board though. We bought enough that it should last in stock for a little while. Like, I think it'll last around a month in stock, so I'm comfortable with it. I'm not really telling you to go and buy one unless you actually want one. Waiting for the Ayla. Yeah, they're on the way to us still. The updates are on the updates pages, but basically the ship's at port and, well, it's on its way to port and we just need to wait for it. It'll be here as soon as it is. Okay. Follow-up question. Partial Patrick, it should be in the Wookiee Discord server. It should be tagged in there. Ayla and Onyx for me. Yeah, Onyx will be in the next boat as well. They're both in the same boat, effectively. So as soon as they arrive, we'll have them shipped out to you guys. Okay, there we go. That's the switches placed into the board. As you can see, the switches are held in nicely. They're not going to fall out, even though we've got a plateless build and hot swap PCB. It's probably not the best setup to use, but it certainly works in this instance. Okay, so next job is we're going to plug in the JST cable. This is quite a short cable, so it's quite tight to do. There we go. Then we're just going to lay down the plate and PCB assembly. Make sure it's centered nicely on top of the gaskets. Make sure nothing's going to move it there. Make sure it's in the right position. Perfect. Then we're going to take the top case. We're going to drop that down on top. Just going to give it a little. Going to give it a little wiggle if we have to. Might have to remove a couple of these switches actually. I think I did last time I built it. Yeah, let's just pop out some of these switches. Wrong tool. So these ones we'll have to put in whilst the board's built. So we're just going to pull out the switches that are just around. Come on. I told you some of these switches were quite tight into the PCB and plate, so there we go. So just going to remove the ones that are around the screw points. Come on. Man, these switches are quite tight in here. I'm glad I have rested the bag of those. Where did I put it? There we go. Okay, that one should be okay. That one will be okay. That one should be okay. This one needs to come out as well. So there's this one. And then we've got another 4 to remove. There. One there. Come on, grab hold. There we go. There we go. One more to go. Cool. Okay, so now we're taking those out. The case will fit in. Just going to make sure it's all lined up properly still. There we go. There we go. Going to drop that back in place. Then what we're going to do is we're going to screw in the screws. And then we'll put the switches back in position. So we're going to go diametrically opposed for the screws. Just make sure we're applying pressure constantly and evenly across the case. That way we're not going to stress anything out. I need to fix the memory on my UK ISO Model M. Nice. I do like a Model M. SB also has a DCS mode for stepped ISO enter. Yeah, they do. They do. It's one I've confirmed with them before in the past.
Tasty, tasty.
I was surprised when you sent DCS 9009 this week. Nice surprise. Yeah, it took us about a week to get them out. I do apologize for that. I'm sorry it took us so long. But it was nice to get them shipped. I think I might go for extras of Ayla. Tried the prototype James brought to me, and it was pretty nice. Also, the sides on it are amazing. Yeah, the Ayla's a lovely board. It really is lovely. I built one on stream a year ago, something like that. I have 2 boards in mind in October, both on prototyping. Nice. How come the half plate works good with hot swap? In what cases does it work? So I think it really depends on the board, Kiwi, as to whether it's going to work or not. And a lot of it's whether the PCB will hold the switches in on its own or not. In this case, it will just work fine. Some cases it won't, like if the switches won't hold in place nice and like the PCB has to have a firm hold of the switches for it to work well. Thanks, Jay. I have to admit I've been at this for a few hours. Sorry, man. If I wasn't on stream, I'd help you a little bit more and give you links and stuff like that. But if you reach out to people in the chat, they'll be able to help you. Like if you go on the Discord server for Wookie, they'll be able to help. Okay, so I'm just going to push the remaining switches in place here. I really don't like doing this without the support underneath, but I think it'll be okay. I much prefer solder builds anyway. There we go. Okay, there we go. I think we're going to be one switch short because I dropped one on the floor. So we can grab another switch in a second. Is it usually up to you which GMK set group buys you join to sell? Skimson, yeah, so it's up to me and the designers, right? So if the designers want to work with me, they reach out to me and ask me, or on very rare occasions, I'll reach out to the designer. But yeah, like I wouldn't run something I didn't have faith in would work, and I'm sure people wouldn't come to me to sell them if they didn't think I couldn't sell them. So I think it's a mixture of both. But yeah, like both the designer has to want to work with me, and I have to believe in the design for to be able to work, right? Those are the couple of criteria that we have. Okay, so that's the board built. It's looking pretty nice. Switches look great. The color is lovely on this. I like the black base with the green. Like it's just so nice. Next job is for you guys to pick some keycaps. So we'll flick over the camera again. So now, guys, you are going to have to pick some keycaps for this. I don't think this is going to be particularly easy to match. Let's set up a poll. So I do have a few to show you. Let me grab them. I didn't manage to find all of the sets that I wanted to use today. So I'm just going to show you them and you guys can pick whatever you want to see on it. So I went for something that'll match the base and I picked GMK Lux as the first one. So black and yellow. That is the first option. That's the first option. Second option is something that's kind of greenish anyway. I don't think this will work, but you guys might want to pick it. GMK Hammerhead. I think that'll look terrible actually, but you guys might pick it. Third up, we have EPBT Royal Alpha So this is Royal Alpha. This is one of the two versions of Royal Alpha. There's also a GMK version, but we're going to use the EPBC one today if you want to pick that. And then finally, the last set I have for you to be able to pick from today is nice PBT sweater weather. So it's kind of like beiges and browns, and it's just kind of like comfy colors. So that's the fourth option. So there we go. Let's set that poll running, and you guys can pick which keycaps you want to see on the board today. I'm just going to pop them to one side whilst you guys pick. Two by two caps. Not for this board, no. We could put some on if you wanted to. OG die subs. Yeah, we could have picked those, but I just picked the 4 sets at random pretty much. Lilac on black really surprised me. I think I really like the looks of it. Yeah, it is a nice set, Trojam. It's a really nice set. We need a 2x2 reimaginable for the cluster. Not today. I think I have one. Okay. If you really, really want to see it, I do have one to hand, so I could put this on the board, but you guys are going to have to vote for it. Oh, I guess the other one that you could pick as well is GMK 9009 Dark, because, sorry, not Nice PBT 9009 Dark, because that's, I've already taken that off the board today, so we could put that back on. Hammerhead Best, don't care what match. Beige is the only answer. Which base to pick, though? That Chinese only group buy that was related to camping could have worked. Maybe. EPBT Royal Alpha has green accents, though. It does. Like GMK looks, but not sure about on the moss green board. Hey, let's see what you guys pick. Everyone vote with Relegendable. We'll put a poll up for it in a bit. So many different plates to use for this board, though. You're a simple man, white and black. I didn't pick white and black today. It was one of the few sets I could have picked and I didn't. So yeah, you guys have got the 4 to choose from. Like, I think there's one right answer, and one maybe, and some wrong answers. We'll see what you guys pick. Tiger would look awesome on that board. It would void me, but it's not run yet. Well, it's not being produced yet, so yeah. Oh man, I'm being tagged everywhere on Discord right now. Why is everyone tagging me? I just got my DMs down to a more manageable level. Why is everyone tagging me? Oh man. Okay, it's fine. No one picked Hammerhead so far. Yeah, I didn't think they would. Oh, one person has picked it. I didn't think anyone would pick that, to be honest with you. I thought it'd be between Sweater Weather and Royal Alpha. I thought those would be the two. Tag G in Discord. Yeah, like I do get a lot of tags. I get why, and I like to be accessible, but I'd like to reduce the number of tags as well if possible. No one picked Hammerhead. Liar. Someone picked it. Yeah. Sweater Weather for the win. I mean, it's winning right now, right? So we'll see how it goes. My coffee's really cold, but I'm still going to drink it. Okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going to go back to water. Are we going to really do a vote for the Relegendable keycap? Because if we are, I'll end up just putting it on now. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Any last thing this evening? I tried to do a heart. It wasn't the best, but I tried to do one. It was there. Sometimes I forget that I brewed my coffee in my French press. I microwave them because I can't get myself to throw away. I can't do microwaved coffee, man. I just can't. I love coffee. Like, I adore coffee. Coffee is my lifeblood, but I cannot microwave it. Yes, we need to do it. What, microwave coffee? No, we don't. We definitely don't need to do that. I was looking for an obscure server to ping you in and so that your friends, mutual friends with a CS caster I've observed for. Oh, who's that? Who's that, Simba? It could be anyone. Like that could be anyone. Like there's so many people. Oh, Zakiri? Yeah. I think they're in chat, right? They might have been earlier on, I think. Zakiria watches quite often. So yeah. Oh, we need to do Legend. I thought you meant microwave the coffee. Yeah, Zakiria and I worked together on some keycap sets. Yeah. I think they might be in chat. Maybe not. They have been in the past. Maybe they're not watching today. I don't know. Okay, not long left to go now. About 30 seconds left on the poll. It looks like Royal Alpha's going to win. I thought Sweater Weather was going to take it, but it looks like Royal Alpha's going to win. Oh man, someone else is tagging me now. There we go. Royal Alpha has won. So I'll put the other keycap sets away. Royal Alpha out. Whoops. Okay, let's flick over the camera and let's pop some keycaps on this board. Okay, like if you guys want to see the 2x2 relegendable keycap, which is here on the board, I want you to type 2x2 in chat. If you put 2x2 in chat and like enough of you do it, I'll put that on the board when we get to that area. I don't think anyone's going to put it. Oh man, like everyone putting that. Why did I say something so silly? Will I ever learn? That's good. I didn't think anyone would actually want to see the 2x2 caps. Like, you all see them so often. I didn't think anyone was actually going to want to see it. Right, I'm not going to put that on just in case we end up doing it. We don't need short shift on this, actually. We need... Is that the right shift size for there? Yeah. It's rare I use full size right shift. I usually use split right shift. We don't need that. We do need that. That's step caps lock for whoever was asking earlier on. That's what a step caps lock looks like. It's kind of got a step in it, like that. There we go. No need for ISO enter today. Okay, I think we're going to have to go with the 2x2 cap because just so many of you mentioned it now. I don't know where we put it. Where did I put it? I literally had it a minute ago. Where did I put it? Oh, it's there. Right, I'm just going to pop that on the board. Just like that. We'll have page up and page down at the side because I think that works quite well. We've already got shifts. We don't need the backspace. We don't need a code. We do need an arrow key. Don't need the minus key. Don't need the insert. Need the down arrow. Just put a good movie on in the background. Is that to help with lubing? Yeah, I get why people do that. I prefer to concentrate on the lubing when I'm doing it. But that's probably why I don't do it very often. It can become quite tedious at times, and I can appreciate that. Okay, one of the slight disadvantages to a PBT set is that you have to turn all of the keycaps over to be able to see the legends. I'm just going to leave out whatever legends I think I need. I turn them over one by one and I need them. That's probably the easiest way to do this, right? That's the wrong key. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. I forgot that it's got multiple language support in this. I'm just having to be careful on which ones I select now. Let's just get all of the ones we could potentially need out, and then we'll go from there. I think that's the wrong page down. Is that wrong? Yes, that's wrong. Leave it just in case we don't have the other one. Ah, there we go. That's the correct one. There we go. Okay. Making slow progress here. I apologize, guys. The 2x2s are actually 2 ISO entities, one normal and one upside down. No, but it'd be funny if they were, right? That would be a fun set of caps. Okay, there's some of these I don't even know whether we need or not. Let's try and be succinct here. Okay. There we go. That's the arrow cluster done. I'm kind of surprised I haven't found the rest of the bottom row yet. I haven't found any of the control keys, he says, right as he finds one. That does mean we've got one control missing. Means we've probably already put it in the box by mistake, so we'll have to dig through for it in a second. Ah, he tells a lie. There it is. Cool. Okay. Right. That's the wrong keycap for that. We should have another Z key for this, right? Okay. Should be another Z somewhere. That's the right profile. There it is. Wait, we've got something wrong in the middle row here. ASDFGH. Right, I knew we'd done something wrong there. It just felt like we were slightly wrong. We're going to pull all the switches out now. That's what rushing gets you guys. It looks perfect. Thanks. wish my wife thought the same. We did a Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh my god, that's a blast from the past. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Look at that unsad enter. Are they all the right profile? Yeah. We're okay so far. Okay. JK, where's the L gone? We had the L, there it is. Remember which one they go, that one. And where's the right legend? That's the right legend, right, that's it. There we go. Okay, cool. There we go. That is the board. All key kept up. Let's catch up with chat. It's beautiful. Is that the kill button? It can be. If this wasn't cursed enough already. That's the also reply to the instant support emails button. I wish it was. I wish it was. The 2x2 were actually 2. Oh, we could be actually. Yeah. Who offers the best switching lubing service in the UK, in your opinion? Matt the Pokemon Kid, and he's going to kill me for saying that because I send him like 3,000 at a time. This is the colour you ordered? Yeah, this is the best colour, I think. Looking forward to the moment group buy. Is it likely still to be region locked for the UK? Not to be confirmed yet. We haven't sorted that out. It might well be. I just ordered some CRP caps, black on white with pink JP Sub Legends. Nice. Okay. So there you go. This is how the board looks with GMK Royal Alpha. I think that works pretty well. We've got the nice big relegendable keycap there. And of course the LED here as well. Let's see if I've got a cable that we can plug the board in with and get that working. Okay, this is where it doesn't turn on. Is it on caps lock? No. Okay, so the board's connected. Don't know why the LED's not working. There must be a feature for it. Let's load up Via and see if it's in there. This is where, when it loads up, you can't see it. Let's see. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. Right, okay. Let's XOX70. Let's do the key tester. Wait, in fact, let's configure it. What layout have we got here? We've got full backspace. We don't have ISO enter. We don't have split left shift. We don't have split right shift. And we have the 7U bottom row. Okay, so that's cool. Right, we've got the right one. Key tester. Test the matrix. And let's test the board. Okay, we've got a key that doesn't work. 2 keys that don't work. That's all 4. They both work. Arrows are all working. That row all works. That looks good. Of course, we're going to have the wing keyless.
Incredible. So
let's see why our is at 5 and plus key don't work. Let's take it apart and see if we can see why they don't work. I wonder if we bent a pin here or two. No bent pin there. This could be an issue with the sockets themselves. I have never tested this PCB, so given the fact that it's a prototype, it wasn't imperative that it worked, so I never did test it. Of course, if it was a production one, we would be testing it, but whoops. We're really good at dropping switches today. Okay, so this one did have a bent pin, so let's change it out for another switch. Okay, let's see if the switches are fixed. If not, it's likely the fact that this has been built a few times as this PCB. It's not a brand new PCB. Right. Let's load that back up. Okay. 5 still doesn't work, so I think it's a problem with the hot swap socket itself. Yeah, okay. It's the problem with the hot swap sockets themselves and those ones. They probably just need a little reflow or something. So we'll pretend it works. Right, let's see if we can get this light working. Is there anything on layer 1 for the backlight? No. Okay, so let's see if we can add... Let's see if we can turn backlight on and backlight off. And then let's do the RGB mode on, because I'm not sure which one it's set to. So where's RGB on? I don't see one for RGB on and off. Let's just do it to that. Okay, what was the key? Okay, there. Okay, cool. Right, okay, so if we do... Wait, what did we set it to? Okay, so if we do that... Nope. Interesting. Blacklight does not work. Let's try putting the RGB on. No. Okay. Don't know why it's not working. MO1. Is there something set to MO2? What about 3? No. Okay. Not quite sure why the backlighting doesn't work, but hey, it's prototype. These things happen. But there we go. That is the board. All built. All working. I think it looks pretty good as it is. It's a pretty good looking board. Let's show you in the face camera. Look at that. How nice does that look? Pretty happy with that, right? That looks really good. The green is just so nice. It's just super, super nice. How can I contact Matt about lubing? Discord. Yeah, the Pokemon Kid on MK UK is who you need to reach out to. Insert PCB testing joke here. It's a prototype. I didn't test it beforehand because it's a prototype. Like, the PCB was used before I got it. Like, it didn't matter. The green's actually pretty close to how it looks on camera, at least on my screen. That's pretty close to how it looks on camera. It's kind of like a mossy green. Like, moss is a really good name for it. Right, let's see how she sounds. I do need to adjust the... Let me see if I can pause the 3D printers for a second, actually. This is where I find out that 3D printers don't have a pause feature. I'm pretty sure they do. Yes, okay, right. Control. Alright, okay. Why can't I... Oh, pause, there it is. It's right in big on the front screen. Okay, both of them are paused. I think. Yeah, both printed have stopped. So I'm going to change the suppression on the mic. Let me do that now. And then we'll do a quick sound test of this board. And then it's time to show you the XOX70 Prototype. Okay. Okay, I've set this pretty much to where it was before. So let's turn off the music and let's see how the board sounds. Let's see how this goes. You have to tell me if this sounds a little bit weird again, guys. And apologies for my typing, it's not the best. That sounds really poppy. That's kind of nice. That's nicer than I was expecting. This build is actually way nicer than the previous build I had in it. I think it's more the switches and the plate itself. I didn't like the full alu plate in it that we had in it last time. It's very, very bouncy though with the half alu plate. Like, I don't know if the camera will show you this. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Let me see if I can show you just how bouncy this is. So bear in mind this is like a half plate. Like, there's quite a bit of bounce there. Look at that. Can you see? Like, it's actually noticeable in the normal typing. Like, it feels bouncy. Can you see that? Is that showing up? I can't tell if you can see that or not. Like, surely you must be able to see that. If I do this. There we go. It is quite flexible. Yeah. It's quite loud. Yeah, it's quite loud. It's quite poppy. I did have the volume turned all the way up, so it is quite loud. It's kind of fun, though. I liked how it sounded. Doesn't the solder PCB have more flex cuts? I think so, yeah, but it will be firmer overall as a build, so because it'll be soldered. So yeah, I definitely prefer this build. Can you see it just under normal typing? Can you see it bouncing? Is that like even visible? Can you see it bouncing in there? It is bouncing, I promise you. It's very, very flexible. Like, it's noticeable in real life that it's moving a lot. But it feels nice. It feels really nice. That feels really nice. Okay, I think this build is way nicer now that we've actually rebuilt it to a better specification. Pretty happy with how that came out. Made up my mind now. Yeah, like, I think, like, for the money, this is a great board. Like, this is a great buy. I don't have anything directly to compare it with, but I'm pretty happy with how that came out. Mainly because I don't have another FRL TKL, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so that's the board built. I do have to sadly send this back, but I'm really, really sad about it because I really do like this. I know we'll get them in at PT, so I'm probably going to end up buying one of these. I do love that curve at the back. Like, it's just so nice to touch. Just the feel of that. Like, your fingers sit into that just so nice. Like, it's just such a nice shape. So there we go. Wonder how that'd sound with MT3 keycaps. Buy one and tell me. That's the answer, right? Half plate alu and stock mochi linears. Yeah. Looked so nice to me. Hey Adam, good to see you, man. Yeah, it's like this is the color. I know you couldn't see the color at the meetup because the lighting was really bad, but that's pretty accurate for the color right there. It's just such a lovely green. It's so nice. And your favorite, Adam, 2x2 keycaps. This was on my table at the meetup. Yeah, this exact board was on my table at the meetup. So there we go. Okay, right, time to show you very quickly before we end the stream the XOX70 prototypes I was sent. So I actually got a nice big package from the guys at Create Keeps. Let me pop that to one side. Now we built it. There we go. So they sent me a few things. They sent me some of these Lotus switches as a sample. So this is what I think we're going to build the board with when we do build it. But how nice is this? Look at this. Look at that. Packaging for switches, right? How cool is that? They feel pretty smooth, actually. I think these are very, very similar to the SOTC switches. But it's just nice little packaging, right? So they were kind enough to send me 3 packs of the switches. I think they're all the same. Yeah, long pole and extended spring. 55. Operating force is 48. And total travel force is 55. There you go. And they're linears. These are the Lotus switches. So we'll be building those with those on the stream when we get around to this. Now, they did send me 2 boxes. I don't know what's in each box because I haven't opened either one up. So you're going to see this with me first in live. I was too fixated on the W180. Yeah, and the guy looking at the tower. Don't you have those on the store? Which ones? The Lotus switches? No. Okay, so let's see what they sent me. Okay, so we've got a few bits in here. Okay. This is one of the knob enclosure parts. Oh man, they sent me loads of little badges as well. There's the little logos. There's a rotary encoder. I like these little tubs. There's a little knob for it, like a C wheel, like a Siemens wheel. Bump-ons, wrench and screws. Door support and cable. This is another door support and cable. Yeah, door support and cable. There we go. So a few nice little bits in there. Let's see what else they've got in this box. I say we will do a build stream of this just before the group buy goes live as well. So in here we have the Create Cubes little card. Oh, it's like a build log. How cool is that? Here you go, look. Full on build log. Oh, so look, the knob actually comes apart. You can actually screw out all of the different parts of the wheel on the knob. That's kind of clever. Battery pack enabled as well. And in the rest of this side we have... That's a PC plate. We have a carbon fiber plate. We have a foam pack. That's a really dense foam pack. And we have a PCB as well. This is a solder PCB. So there we go. Yeah, it's a solder PCB. That's quite a pretty PCB. So we have all of those different parts to make a build with. And then in the other box, I'm pretty sure that's where we'll have the keyboard. Will we PT be carrying the Thera 75? We will be. That's why I've been sent this one. We will definitely be carrying it. Looked like a ribbon cable for the door board. Interesting. Wonder how it would fare with a few times disconnecting. It's a good point. It is. And here's the board, guys. This is the board we'll be building. So it's got the nice little logo on the top. Badge, we can change that out if we want to. The door board, which is proprietary, which has 2 screws. And then flipping it over, there's the lighthouse weight on the bottom. That's pretty cool though, right? It's a nice looking 75% board. So there we go. That's everything we've got here. I don't think we've got anything else in the back of this one. No, there we go. That's everything we have. So it's pretty cool though. You get the 2 carry cases, you get all the parts, we've got the switches to build it with. I'll get those lubed up in the next week or 2 if I can find some time. And we'll do a build stream of this right before we before the group buy launches. And then you guys can see the board firsthand. More keyboards should have an instruction book. Agree, yeah. There was an R1 Thera at the meetup, which felt quite nice. Yeah, this is the round 2 one. We didn't carry the round 1 one, but it'd be nice to bring the round 2. How am I supposed to afford a heating with all these group buys on PT? Cuddle your keyboards, man. They'll keep you warm. Freeze and buy. Desk mats are surprisingly insulating. Yeah, we found a load of desk mats the other day in the workshop that we're going to put up for like cheap, like £5 each, plus VAT, because they're B stock. So you could just buy like 10 of those and keep warm. Just get a nice sleeping bag. Just buy a PT hoodie. Problem solved. Yeah, the PT hoodies, man. We'll be bringing those out soon again for the winter. Mine's actually at home at the minute, but I will be wearing it when it starts to get a little bit cooler. Looks like a nicer Keychron. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So that's the kind of price range that we're aiming to get it to. So it's kind of like just a little bit above the kind of lowest of the budgets. But that's where we're aiming for. Good advice here, lads. Yeah. PT hoodie and a lot of B-stock desk mats. That'll keep you warm for Christmas. You heard it here first. Let's see if anything else was said in chat that I missed. The OG JL1 was nice to experience side by side with my Rev one. Yeah, well, Josh and I, we kind of finalized the redesign of the original JL1 a couple of weeks ago. So it won't be too long before we order the prototype of that. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have the JO2 and the JO1 limited to 50 units of each in blackout colorway in kind of like pre-order at the same time. I think that's what we're going to do. But that was finalized? I think so. I think so. This is why you need to start getting into Notion, dude. Like, we need Notion sorting out. We'll have a chat this week, dude. I'm tired. It's late. It's like 10 past 10 on a Sunday night. I'm tired. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing anything special tomorrow. I personally will be here in work. I've got a ton of emails and DMs to catch up on. So that's my plan for tomorrow. I will have the Queen's funeral in the background, I think, just on BBC. But officially PT is closed tomorrow. We're not going to be shipping anything out. So yeah, other than that, no. I think me and the wife are going to spend the afternoon together and we're going to watch a film or something. You should all stop drinking. That's the problem. That really is going to bankrupt me. J Prototype is. Sorry, Snicket. I apologize. Memory loss. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's pretty close. It's pretty close, right? I'm pretty sure we agreed the final changes, and I'm assuming they've been made. But this is why we need you to set up your Notion, dude. Like literally, I've given you a space for Notion to use, so we need to start using it. We'll get there though. It'll be all good. Cool. Right, I'm gonna head out now, guys. If you guys have got any questions, tag me on the Discord in the Tag J channel. Don't DM me. I'm gonna restart my. Oh no! Like, can I resume? Oh, there we go. I was lucky enough to be able to resume my 3D prints. Let's just make sure they actually do resume. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's fine. It's all good. I'm gonna head out now, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream this week. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked the stream of the XOX70. Pick one up if you haven't already, because the group buy's not got long left to go. If you want something in stock, we've got Tomos in stock, Simple 60s in stock, loads of stuff. Just pick it all up, guys. It's all there already, waiting for you to go. That's the aim. All right, take care, guys. I'll see you again soon. Love you all. Bye bye.